This is an exhaust brake solenoid for a Volvo. Notice I say exhaust brake and not engine brake. There is a difference. It's from this 2007 Volvo here. This is on the left side of the engine. This is where the air goes in. This is where the air goes out. This is what your switch controls to turn it on. There is the exhaust port. That right there is the solenoid. Those two little pins there and there, if you push those out, that's how you get the solenoid off. Before you take the solenoid off, you have to take out those 4 screws and it'll separate, if you can see that right there. Don't use an impact, because there is a circuit board back there, so don't do any beating on it. I found a bad O-ring at the end of the solenoid. I would have just bought a new solenoid, but they are currently back ordered with no idea. Nobody has any idea when they'll come in. So the problem with this is that it was working fine, but it was constantly leaking air out of the exhaust there. So now to test it, it was also leaking air constantly into the exhaust brake itself out that line. So the exhaust brake was staying on a little bit and it was leaking air out. Prior to that, it had been staying on, so I put brake parts cleaner down the inlet line here and ran it, and that's when it started leaking out of the exhaust also. So, but this is the test that I did. So there is no air coming out of those other ones since I replaced that tiny O-ring. I'll show you quick how small the O-ring was that I put in there. Right there, 006. And it's on a little plastic plunger. You have to be really careful when taking those parts out, and you have to glue it to the top of that little plunger. So I'll put it back together and see how it works. If I post the video, it worked.